Welcome. Come with me. The doctors will see you now.
Hi, Fast Talks followers. This is Dr. Phil Palmer on vacation in Hawaii and reflecting back on season 2 of our podcast. My favorite episode was our interview with Dr. Jenna Gohagen. I was encouraged listening to Jenna's passion about the community of Seminole, what she and other leaders are doing there, and it just reminded me of the difference each of us as family doctors can make in our own communities. So until our next episode of Fast Talks with Family Docs, aloha.
The challenges, however, of a small town in rural Oklahoma became pretty paramount. And so my kids go to Seminole Public School, and we slowly discovered that the school needed some assistance and the community needed some assistance. And so we had a group of community members that got together and said, hey, we want to be involved and we want to have an avenue to do something. And so we didn't really know what that was, and that led to the founding of Impact Seminole. So we formed a nonprofit in the fall of 2023.
Okay.
Didn't really know where we were headed, and now we do projects for whatever is needed in town. And so one of our first ones included developing an esports and coding program for our local elementary student or elementary school.
That's so cool.
So it's the rage all across the nation.
Sure.
And we felt like our students were at a disadvantage because other schools have this program and we were not set up for it. So we worked with lots of local businesses and the 4th through 6th grade elementary, and we got them set up with all their TVs and their benches and their switches. I spent lots of hours on the ground putting together benches for them to sit on. And so that was our first project, and it was awesome and fulfilling,
excellent. And
the students loved it. And so that really fueled our desire to say, okay, what can we do next? And so then we hosted a back to school bash in August. And so we were hoping to offset the cost of going back to school. And so we served students lunch. We gave away backpacks to everybody that came, and we ended up having 650 students come. So we had healthcare providers there providing free sports physicals. We had local hairdressers giving free haircuts, and then had lots of resources. So we had local churches, various civic organizations. Whoever wanted to could come out and have a booth and tell our students about their services. And so it was amazing. All of my friends and Impact Seminole members thought I was crazy, but I was worried that no one was going to come. And then we had an amazing turnout. And so it was an experience.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It was great.
It's all voluntary.
All volunteer.
Fundraising.
So yeah, it's all volunteer and fundraising. So it's parents and various community members and our banks and other businesses, and they see the need and they step up. And so that led us to thinking about Thanksgiving. So we have over 90% of our students are at the poverty line or below. So financial resources are a big deal. Okay. And so that came to our awareness from our school nurse who runs our school feeding program. And so she makes sure that our families who really need it have meals on the weekends. And so Thanksgiving was really her baby. And so we decided to get it all together, and we had, oh my goodness, so many desserts donated, and the clinic donated money towards purchasing food, and the school donated a space. And so we were able to serve 300 people, both in person and delivery. And so I had so many volunteers on Thanksgiving Day. I honestly didn't know what to do with all of them. And so it was amazing. It was an amazing problem to have. And the community has been so supportive. And then for Christmas, we essentially did a version of our own angel tree. So we had our school counselors select students who, from families they knew were at risk for not being able to have a Christmas. And so we had individual families sponsor those students.
Okay.
And then my brother, who is the district judge in Seminole County, dressed up as Santa. And Santa and his elves, I had the privilege of going as an elf, delivered gifts directly to their homes on the 23rd. And so the students' response was amazing. Some of them thought he was the actual Santa. A couple older students were very skeptical because Santa does not usually wear cowboy boots. So he may need to change his shoes next year. But it was amazing because so many students were able to have a Christmas, which they would not have been able to without it. And so it's been honestly an eye-opening and really fun experience. And in a roundabout way, it's made me a better physician because I'm able to understand better where my patients are coming from and see, kind of meet them where they are. And so it's been a lot of fun. So,
hello, my friends. Welcome back to Fast Docs with Family Docs. I am Dr. Vedala, coming to you from one of my happy places, the gym, which seems like the perfect place to talk about my favorite episode this season, sports medicine. Had an absolute blast learning from three sports med extraordinaires, the legend Dr. Jim Barrett himself, and my buddy Dr. Thomas Owens, who I like to call the new face that will be running the place, and our own Dr. Phil Palmer. One statement that really resonated with me, however, was when Dr. Barrett said, sports medicine is all about keeping the active people active, but helping the inactive become active again. And as a family physician who really emphasizes lifestyle changes, this really resonated with me. And what a fantastic episode. Thank you, Dr. Barrett, Dr. Owens, for joining us.
We like to keep active people active, and then we like to encourage inactive people to be active, and in whatever way we can. And so that's how I define sports medicine. So.
Absolutely. And I'm pretty sure I've heard that definition at least once or twice from Dr. Barrett. So it's going to be a very near paraphrase, if not verbatim, but absolutely agreed. I think one of the biggest things, too, is also just recognizing that everyone's ability to accomplish what they want to do in life can sometimes be hampered, especially when it comes to kind of like the physical and ability to tackle those tasks. And especially from a musculoskeletal standpoint, that gets in the way of so many people. We know even as primary care that, that just even being primary care without a fellowship background, you're going to run into massive chunks where having that additional expertise, I think, helps you to get even a little bit further with them and even siphon them off should they need that kind of operative background even more efficiently.
Hey everyone, it's Kari Weber, EVP of the Oklahoma Academy of Family Physicians, coming to you from one of my favorite places, the hockey rink. When I'm not working for our amazing family docs, you can usually find me here cheering on one of my boys. One of my favorite moments from this season of Fast Talks with Family Docs has to be with the amazing Dr. Sam Ratterman from Grove, Oklahoma. He said he tries to find one positive interaction every single day, and that's what keeps him inspired. I just love that reminder to focus on the good and remember the why. I'd encourage you to give it a listen. I promise you don't want to miss it.
Everybody is different. For me, I feel that what I do is a spiritual calling. I need to be here. I've been directed to be here. I've got care to provide. You need a fantastic support team. I have an amazing wife. I have an amazing family. I also have a hospital group of staff that I get to work with every day. They support me, I support them, and it's nice in a small hospital. We get to know each other very, very well because it's the same core group of staff that's there, every day, every other day. But then you also have to find some other intrinsic value. I try and look every day for one positive interaction. Hopefully I can find more than that. The other day I was taking care of somebody in the hospital and she says, "Oh, I remember you. 12 years ago, you allowed me to come in on your lunch break and sew up my forearm that was bleeding. Hey, look at the scar." This nice scar form. Like, oh, I don't even remember that. But how many other interactions did I provide care for somebody that they remember? Probably not the best boundary example, but for this example, for me too. When I took over the hospitalist program, there was a journal who had ranked our specific hospital the highest mortality rate in the country for CMS reported hospitals. Our hospital was not that bad at the time. It was more of a coding issue. And so I said, okay, I want to address that. I want to fix that. I want to be the best coder that I can and make sure that all these insurance companies are seeing the complex patients that we're taking care of. And it took a long time, but since then, our small rural hospital, we've been recognized by CMS as a 5-star hospital twice. We've had really high quality and safety awards. And I don't take credit for those personally, but yeah, I'm part of the team in trying to set the expectation that we're going to do the best we can.
Yeah,
And
congratulations
Yeah,
to you
you're
and your
doing
team
a
on
good
achieving
job.
that. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you for joining us today. The doctors would like to see you back for another check-in. Please choose to follow our podcast and you will automatically be notified when it's time for your next appointment.